What's up, chicken wings? I drew a picture of you guys today. Yeah, it's that. It's that. Oh, it's not a pen. Why isn't it a pen? It's that. That's you guys. Chicken wing. Do you guys get it? Oh my gosh, I'm so funny. That's pretty funny, huh? I'm still laughing about it. Chicken wings. And it's you guys because it's a little hype beast with a little Supreme jacket. Oh, I cracked myself up. That's so funny. Anyway, today we're going to talk about synthetic division. So I told you guys division was going to be its own lesson because it's too hard to do with all that other stuff. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Barton, this is the second lesson I'm learning today. Maybe not. Again, if you're a Martian 7,000 years in the future, welcome to my YouTube channel. But if this is the second lesson you're learning and you're like, why didn't he just put them in the same video? It's because if it's two videos, you guys don't complain as loud. So here is how we do division. And disclaimer, big heckin' disclaimer. We're going to learn synthetic division, which is like, it's totally 100% real division. But it doesn't quite work on every single thing perfectly well, right? So you know, you gotta be careful with this thing. So we'll look at synthetic division. It's super easy to set up and it streamlines the whole process. I don't think we're gonna learn long division. And you're like, thank goodness, right? I didn't even understand long division in third grade when I learned it the first time. But we'll learn synthetic division, and the synthetic part makes it hecka easy. So we're going to learn to divide polynomials today, and let's go. So for synthetic division, it's used to divide a polynomial by a linear factor. What does that mean? Linear, that word means x to the first power. So this will not work if you're trying to divide by like x squared plus 3. That's a no-go. You can't do that with synthetic division. It only works on linear stuff. So like x minus 2, that'll work. Okay. Some key pointers I want to point out to you with these pointers here. Variables must be in descending order. That's standard form. How do you spell standard? Standard? Sure. Form. And we cannot have missing no exponents. You can't miss any. If you skip some, you have to fill them in. Fill in missing exponents with 0. And if you don't put in a 0, you're going to goof the whole thing up and you're going to get it wrong. And then you're going to cry and be like, Mr. Barton, math is so hard. And then I'll just be like, bro, I told you. I told you. And then I'm going to hit you with a timestamp. I'll be like, at 3:40 in the video, I said fill that stuff in. And you didn't listen. So fill it in. Okay. We are going to multiply first, then add. Basically, we're going to go multiply, add. Multiply, add. Multiply, add, and you're just going to repeat that circle until you run out of stuff. Okay. The exponent on the answer will be smaller because we're dividing, right? Think about it. If you have x to the third power and you divide by x, the answer is x squared because you took one out. So when we divide by this x to the first something, the exponent is going to go down by 1 because we're taking 1x out of your answer. So I'll fill you in. Holy smokes, words. I'll fill you in on how to do that exactly when we look at examples. But just be aware, when you divide, stuff gets smaller generally. Okay. This is an example. I'm not going to go over it because I'm just going to show you like an example, like a real example. So let's go look at an example. All right. So we're going to divide x squared minus 13x minus 48 by x plus 3. And we're going to state whether the binomial is a factor of the polynomial. So first, let's do the synthetic division, and then we'll talk about what does it mean to be a factor of the polynomial and how can you tell. Okay? So here's how we're going to set it up. First thing, step numero uno, draw a big L. This is the L you're about to take. No, I'm just kidding. That would be funny, huh? All right. The next step is fill in your coefficients of the L. So you're going to look at the coefficients of the dividend. Is that the right word? Yeah, the dividend. The thing being divided. The top, if you will. You're going to take the coefficients of each term when it's written in standard form and write those across the top of the L. So the invisible coefficient for x squared is a 1. So we're going to put a 1 at the top. The next one is negative 13. We're going to put a negative 13. The next one is a negative 48. We're going to put a negative 48. We should have checked, but you should always check. Do we skip any x's? So we have x squared, x to the 1, 0 x's, no x's. So 2, 1, 0. All the numbers are there in order. Perfect. Now, here's the part that's going to freak you out. We have to figure out what number goes here. The way you figure that out is you take your divisor, or the bottom, x plus 3. You set it equal to 0 and solve for x. Minus 3, x equals negative 3. This is the number that goes on the outside. If you skip that step, it's going to get all hecked up and it's not going to work. So now it's set up and we're ready to do the synthetic division. It's times like this I really wish we were in a classroom, like in person, because there's this super tight video by this YouTube channel. It's called, I forget what it's called, Math by Fives, maybe? Anyway, I'll put it in the place where you find this video, just so you can watch it, because that guy goes so hard on his notes, and kids love it. And you'll see what I mean if you go watch it. But I'm going to steal a phrase from him. The very first number here, you have to drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. So you take that first number, you drop it straight down. That is the only time we do this. Only the first number gets dropped like it's scalding hot. Okay. Now we do this circular process. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we take this number that's underneath the L and we multiply it by the number that's outside the L, the negative 3. So negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. We write the answer under the next number. Now I understand, it says add. But if you add a negative 3, you're subtracting 3. So I think about it as just do whatever the signs say. So negative 13 minus 3 is negative 16. Now this number is under the L, so we multiply it to the outside number again. So negative 3 times negative 16 is positive 48. Now this is positive, so we do add. Negative 48 plus 48 is 0. Okay, here's what we're going to do. These are just numbers. This is not quite your answer. This was an x squared. We're going to decrease that by 1 to 1. We're going to decrease this by 1 to 0. And then I'll tell you about that in a sec. So this tells you where to start, and you just fill your x's back in this order, right? So on the first number, we're going to put an x to this power, the first power. So we're going to have 1x. Then the next number gets an x to this power. So 0, that's just keep the number. So minus 16. And then we'll talk about this later. This is your remainder. Right? Remember back in the day, you do like 50 divided by 6. Maybe that's a bad example. By 4. Right? You'd say 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract 1. Bring down the next number. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 8. Subtract 2. Remainder of 2. That's what this number is. It's that remainder. And there's a special way we'll write that, but because it's 0, you kind of think about like plus 0. There's a remainder of 0. It went in evenly. So this is your answer. Don't worry if you didn't get all that the first time. Just make sure you copy it down. We're going to do some more examples. Okay, so this is our answer. We did the division, x minus 16. Now, let's talk about the second part of this question. State whether the binomial is a factor of the polynomial. So, what a factor is, let's think about the number 50 again. Okay. So, if we think about 50, 50's factors are all the things that multiply to be 50, or numbers we could divide 50 by that would go in evenly. It would mean it has a remainder of 0, right? So we have 1 times 50. We have 2 times 25. We have 5 times 10. And I think that's it, right? So 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, and 50 are all factors of 50. And if we take 50 and divide it by any of these factors, like say 5, we'll get 10 remainder 0. So to tell, is it a factor, all you have to do is look at this remainder. If it's 0, it is a factor. If the remainder equals 0, the divisor, the thing you divide it by, that thing, is a factor of the polynomial. You should write that sentence down. It's super important. Historically speaking, there used to be a question on your test for this unit that says, if the remainder is equal to 0, the blank is a factor of the blank. Or maybe factor was the blank. I don't know. There's some blanks in this sentence, and that's a question. And it's such free points, but you have to know this sentence, okay? You have to memorize this. Put a star on it. Maybe put some flames on it. Those are some booty, ugly flames, but oh well. Okay. All right, so that's example 1. Here's the answer. It's a factor because the remainder is 0. Let's go do another example. Okay. Draw the L. Put your coefficients, first check, are they all there and are they in order? So x to the power of 3, to the power of 2, to the power of 1, no x's. They're in order and I don't skip any. Write the coefficients across the top. So 2, -7, -7 again, 20. Now we have to figure out what number goes here. So we take the thing we're dividing by, set it equal to 0, solve for x. X equals -4. This is the number that goes on the outside. The very first number inside the L, drop it like it's hot. When the curator of the establishment is in the club, drop it like it's hot. Put that on the bottom. Anything that's underneath the L, we multiply to the outside number. So -4 times 2 is -8. Do what the signs say here. -7 minus 8 is -15. Multiply to the outside number. -4 times -15 is positive 60. Do what the signs say. -7 plus 60 is 53. Multiply to the outside number again. Negative 4 times 53 is negative 212. Do what the signs say. 20 minus 212 is negative 192. All right. Now we need to put our x's back on here. We're going to look at what we started with. X to the third. We're going to decrease that by 1. X squared, x, no variable remainder. Okay? But we're starting with x squared. So we just start putting on x's, decreasing the exponent 1 each time. So we have 2x squared minus 15, x to the first, plus 53, no x's. And now we need to talk about how to write the remainder. You're going to take the sign, and you're going to make a fraction. Put the number on top. Put the thing you divided by on the bottom. This is your answer. So here's our answer. We did the synthetic division. We put the x's back in. We wrote our remainder as a fraction. We want to ask, state whether the binomial is a factor. The way we figure that out is we look at the remainder. Is this 0? No. Then it is not a factor. X plus 4 is not a factor of the polynomial because, don't tell your English teachers, the remainder is not 0. All right, not too bad, huh? Okay, we got 2 more examples. Let's go do them. All right. The only difference here is that instead of writing the little like divide symbol and then putting x minus 1, they put it on the bottom of a fraction because that also means divide. But we are doing the exact same process. So we're going to draw our L. We're going to check to make sure we're not missing any x's. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. They're all there and they're in order. Write your coefficients. Invisible 1, 2, 2, negative 2, negative 3. Solve the bottom for x. So x minus 1 equals 0. Add 1. X equals 1. Put this number on the outside. This one should be easy. Look how small these numbers are and look at that multiplying thing we're using. Very first number. Drop it like it's hot. That never gets old. It's so fun to say. You should say it. All right. Drop the first number. Multiply the bottom to the outside. 1 times 1 is 1. Put it into the next number. Do what the signs say. 2 plus 1 is 3. Multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Put it under. Add. 2 plus 3 is 5. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Do what the signs say. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Now we have to put our x's back. Let's look at this first one. It was x to the fourth. We're going to turn it into x to the third and start there and fill them in. So we're going to have 1 x to the third plus 3 x squared plus 5 x plus 3. Remainder is 0. The last number is always the remainder. Notice how you run out of x's and there's always another number? That's because it's the remainder. So this is our answer. And it is a factor. X minus 1 is a factor of the polynomial because the remainder is 0. All right. One more example and then we're done. This one's sneaky, huh? All right. So draw your L. We're not scared. We're big kids. We've got hair on our butts. We're going to do it like grown-ups. Right? Are you seriously going to be scared of a couple little letters and numbers on a piece of paper? No way. You can't be. I mean, being scared of commitment, the ocean, and disappointing your parents, that's all real legitimate fears. Numbers? No. All right. Let's check for standard form. We have x to the third. Okay. We don't have x squared or x to the first, but we do have the number without an x. So let me show you what you should do first. We need to understand what this means. This means x to the third plus 0x squared, because there's 0 of them, plus 0x plus 27. Now that we know how we should think about this, we fill in our coefficients. So we have the invisible 1, 0, then 0, then 27. If you don't include these two zeros, this process doesn't work and you're going to get the wrong answer and then you're going to cry. Not because you're scared of fractions or math or numbers, but because you're scared you might have disappointed your parents. All right, now we need to solve this thing for x when we set it equal to 0. X plus 3 equals 0 minus 3. X equals 3. So we put the 3 on the outside. Drop it like it's hot. I said it one more time. All right. 1 times 3 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. Oh, dang. I really thought that would... Oh, you guys, I goofed. Back up. Sorry, don't write that. -3. Come on, Mr. Barton. Get your head in the game. 1 times -3 is -3. 0 minus 3 is -3. -3 times -3 is 9. 0 plus 9 is 9. 9 times -3 is -27. There we go. Now it works out. And this is 0. Now you say, Mr. Barton, how did you know you did something wrong? Years of experience and disappointing my parents, kids. All right. Now, we look at what exponent do we start with? 3. We drop it by 1, x squared, and we fill it in. So we have 1x squared minus 3x plus 9. This is the answer. X plus 3 is a factor. Is a factor of the polynomial. Why, you ask? Because the remainder is 0. And there you go. There's all the hard stuff. That's synthetic division. You guys are now masters of dividing synthetically. That's so tight. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. Unless you didn't watch the video and you just skipped to the end, in which case you should be ashamed of yourself. Go back and watch the whole video. I worked really hard on it because you guys deserve the best. Which is not this. This is pretty darn good. Not quite the best, but I'm working on it. Someday I'll have 200 subscribers. Until next time, smash that mother heckin' like button, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.